Hello, Alden Aldenay here, bringing to you right now some tips on building a successful podcast. Do you have a podcast right now? Be fascinated to find out. And if you do, pop the link to your podcast in the comments wherever you're watching this right now. I would love to see what your podcast is like. Is it an audio podcast? Is it a video podcast? What kind of podcast do you have, or are you considering doing a podcast? Did you know that there are over 1 million podcasts just in the US alone now? It's absolutely extraordinary, the changing face of the media. Do you know that since Facebook came around 2004, Facebook only started 17 years ago, and now out of the 7.8 billion people on the planet, 3.8 billion people are active social media users. And more people are consuming media content on their phones, on their laptops, on their devices. The whole world of media is changing. And now it's exciting times because you can actually create news yourself now. Unlike once upon a time when we had a few major media conglomerates that were dictating all of the news, and sure, we still have a few people controlling the mainstream media, right? And a lot of that is negative, as we know. So while that is happening, particularly around COVID, and we've seen all sorts of hidden agendas come out in the last year, well, if you're not happy about what you're seeing, then get some other news out there. Share your news. And something I started was the Global Good News Challenge during COVID to help lift the energy out there to decrease depression, anxiety, and suicide rates. The podcasts are a very exciting world to be in. Now, I always recommend, if you're going to be starting a podcast, I always recommend to do a video, particularly if you're going to be interviewing people, sharing to camera. They say if a photo's worth 1,000 words, a video is worth 1 million words. So it's very, very powerful. And every time you interview someone or you put a video out, you're leaving a legacy. You know, a third of people die by the age of 65. And a lot of people who die, there's no video content of them out there at all. So the more video content you can put out, the more you're leaving a legacy and leaving your mark on the world and making a difference in the world. So I like video interviews and video podcasts because you can always extract audio from video and always extract a transcript as well from a video. Whereas once you do a podcast or just an audio podcast without the video, then you can't then turn it into video content unless you use photos, etc. Right? So there's nothing quite like, you know, having the multi-dimensions of video like we're hearing right now. Now, I have Media Queen TV channel on YouTube. I have about 600 videos on there now. I've had over 20,000 views of all of my videos across the board the last few years. And the thing is, with putting content out there, do not stress about the number of followers, the number of viewers, anything like that. The main thing is to do something you're passionate about. And I want to give you some tips today on how you can build a successful podcast for yourself. If you haven't thought about doing it, or you may be starting to think about maybe you could do it. And, you know, you don't have to be super confident on camera or anything initially, right? You will get better as you go along. Okay, so, you know, everything is hard until it becomes easy, right? Everything's hard until it becomes easy. So I want to give you, firstly, the top performing business podcasts of 2021, just to give you an idea of what's out there currently. What are the top performing business podcasts of 2021? And this is from the Balance Small Business, okay? Now, the best quick take podcast is called The Indicator. The best one for women is called The Biz Chicks. The best one for minority businessmen and women is called Brown Ambition. The best one for mindset out there at the moment is the Mind Your Business podcast. The best interview show, Entrepreneurs on Fire. The best inside look is How I Built This. Best for inspiration is Rise and Grind. Best from the Ivy League is HBR Ideacast. And the best practical tips podcast is the $100 MBA. So with podcasting, the first thing to think about is your equipment. Okay, what sort of equipment do you have? Now, ideally, you would want a laptop or a desktop. You need a good webcam and a good mic, okay, ideally. Now, I'm just using the webcam currently from my laptop, and I have an external mic plugged in to my laptop. And I have just a little portable Samson, Samson mic, because I wanted something light that I could travel with. The Rode mics are really good. Logitech webcams are really good as well if you want to use an external mic. So ideally invest in some good equipment, and that will definitely help with your podcast, because you really want to make sure, particularly if you're turning video into audio, that you have good audio quality. There's nothing worse than having crackling audio quality on your interviews. Also, you want to think about lighting in your setup. Okay, now I've got a green screen behind me. I've got a studio set up. I have a big softbox light in front of me. I have some side lights as well. So you want to be well lit. Now, a lot of people, they're doing interviews and they've got windows behind them. And so if you're backlit, your face is going to be dark. We want to see your face nice and clear. And ideally also think about your framing. Think about your framing, okay? A lot of people get on online calls and videos and they have, they're right down here and they've got all this headroom, right? It's just a big waste of your online space. So you want to, get in, fill the screen with yourself so that you come across nice and clear. And when people are watching you on their phones, that they can see you a lot clearer than if you just take up that much of your rectangle space, right? So think about your equipment and your lighting and your setup, ideally to, look good and come across well and sound good on camera or on audio. Okay, there's the Tech Webcast podcast. I was invited to co-host that for a few years. And that podcast has had over 1 million downloads in 8 years. And with that, it was purely an audio podcast. Now, that wasn't my podcast. I was a guest or one of the co-hosts on that podcast. And, the thing is, I'm no tech expert, right? But we talked about things like vinyl and some changes in technology. And that's the thing is when you think about, putting yourself out to the media too, you only need to know 10% more than someone else to be able to teach something. So you don't have to know it all. In fact, you probably never will know it all. And with the changing world of the media, things are shifting so fast. There's so many new additions happening with social media, with online media. So it's important to, stay connected with an amazing community like we have at the Mass Media Tribe group. If you want to join an amazing community, we had a fantastic event tonight on confidence on camera in business. We had Carmen Braidwood, a TV and radio reporter from Perth, who came and spoke, and that whole event has been live streamed to the Mass Media Tribe group on Facebook, which you're welcome to check out and come and join. We're also on Meetup as well. Absolutely free. Come and check that out. Now, when you think about your podcast, you think about a title or what you're going to actually talk about. And if you're in business, ideally you can use it as a way to promote your business or do something in line with your business, or do a podcast on something you're passionate about. Now, if you're passionate about the topic, which ideally you're in business and you are passionate about your topic, otherwise hopefully you wouldn't really be in there, because the thing is, if you're not passionate about what you're doing, then you won't stick with it. You will burn out and you will not survive, okay? So whatever it is you're passionate about, look at doing something around that, about maybe interviewing other experts in that field. So when I first started doing my online shows a few years ago, I just started to create shows around things that interested me. So one of the first shows I did was the Media Mastery Show, which was all helping people get their message to the masses. Then I did one on animals. I did Animal Action TV. Then I did Movie Review TV because I love movies. Then I did one called Truth Expose TV, which was all around helping to share more truth. I interviewed David Icke for that, who is a BBC former journalist who does worldwide wake-up tours. Fascinating guy and very controversial. In fact, he was banned from coming into Australia because of some of his controversial content. I interviewed him back in 2016. You can see that up online now on Media Queen TV on YouTube. I did one on Business Expose TV. So I had all these different titles for different shows. And then I decided to put it all under the one banner, which is Media Queen TV. So I use that now for my branding, and all those different topics are under there. So nowadays it's just all Media Queen TV. But whatever it is you're passionate about, do interviews on that. What I stand for in my business is inspiring truth and good news. That's what I stand for. And Media Queen TV encompasses that. And it's about people supporting each other, about people being the best they can be in their life. And that's what my show represents. And through my business, AA Expose Media, that's what I stand for there. I have the only company I know of that guarantees media coverage with what I do. So I love what I do. I've been in the media for 37 years as a photojournalist, worked in TV, radio, print, and I have over 70,000 followers now on right across my social media on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, etc. So right across the board, I'm on all the major social media channels, and I suggest you look into doing more with your social media. If you haven't been doing much, at least look at being on Facebook. If you're in business, you want to be on LinkedIn. Twitter is a great place to connect with celebrities and with journalists, etc. Twitter is a great place for that. Like I said, think about your topic and think about your niche and your avatar. Who are your ideal clients that you want to target, and what sort of topics would interest them. Okay, and then think of a title around that. Then what you want to do is make sure you come out with quality podcasts. So do what you can to ensure that they are quality. And that means doing, quality interviews. For example, if you're going to be doing interviews, put out quality content. Have a look at what's currently in the news on your topic, on whatever it is you're going to be commenting on, and make sure you put out regular content. Another tip is find the balance in what you're doing. Now, you're always going to have people that are going to have suggestions about what you're doing, and it's important to, listen to people's feedback, but also stay in your truth with your podcast. Okay, be true to yourself, because ideally, you know all the answers. You have the answers. People can give you guidance on what they know from their experiences, but you know what you want to portray and how you want to portray it, and so be true to yourself, I would suggest. The other thing to think about with your podcast is about being SEO friendly, or search engine optimization friendly. So think about with your titles, with your descriptions, think about your keywords. You can use the Google keyword search tool or Google Analytics and have a look at some of the popular terms around your business, around what you do, and use some of those keywords, use hashtags, etc., so that you can be found easily online on your topic. The other great thing you can do is get great guests on your show, or be a great guest on other people's show and do some cross promotion. So find some great joint venture or JV partners that you can collaborate with. And if you do a podcast or a video cast like this, and you know someone else that does one and you're aligned with what you do, then you could interview each other on each other's shows so that you share what you're doing to a wider audience. And a lot of people are doing this now, which is brilliant. I've done it with quite a few people myself too. So you can do, as they say, swapsies. You can do little swapsies, and you can share with a win-win scenario like that. The other thing with your podcast is be consistent. Consistently put out content. Now, some people do podcasts on a certain time every week. Now, I don't work that way. I like to be a little bit more flexible. Some weeks I'll put a few podcasts out. Some weeks I might only put one. Some weeks I don't put any podcasts out. But generally, I keep it going, right? So whatever you're doing, just be consistent. Keep it going and keep doing what you love when it comes to podcasts, and learn more about it. Learn more about presentation, practice your speaking skills, focus on being of service rather than on how you're looking. You do want to come across well, obviously, and look good, but you don't want to be thinking about that when you're speaking on camera. You want to think about how you can be of service to your audience. And then the other thing to do is to market your podcast once you have your podcast done. Okay, make sure the world knows about it, share it in your social media, and look for more amazing guests and more great content to keep sharing consistently. Because really, people want to hear from you. You are the only one of you. You are one in a billion just by being born. You are special, you are unique, and people want to hear from you. Even if there's other people out there talking about the same topic, they connect with you. People follow people. People buy from people. People follow people is a book that Sam Cawthorn recently put out, right? So you are the X factor. You are what draws people in, and you sharing from the heart is really, really important, and keep spreading the love through the podcast and really maximize and leverage yourself. If you're time poor, then you definitely want to be doing this podcast and more online video. and video shows. Okay, so there's just a few tips on how to have a successful podcast and start a podcast from scratch. If you have any other questions, just private message me. If you'd like, if you want to know how to get free publicity, I have a free publicity secrets event for absolutely free. The next one is March 24. This may be my last 4-hour online event. There's a lot of amazing content, from everything from knowing nothing about how to get on TV, radio, or print, to knowing everything about it that I teach. Well, just about it. I teach a lot in this 4 hours, a lot of content from my insider experience in the media. How to get publicity. I have an awesome formula that I go through step by step on how to get publicity. So that's the 24th of March, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And the details are at freeprssecrets.com. I will pop that into the comments right now. And then also we have the Global Good News Challenge, which is another great way you can start to put yourself out there and build your confidence on camera. And, something dear to my heart is I'm passionate about helping to lift people's energy and decrease depression and suicide rates. I've had depression. I've had 4 friends take their own lives now by the age of 45. And I do believe that if you continually listen to negative news in the mainstream media, you will potentially end up depressed and potentially suicidal. Okay, so to shift that, to shift your vibration, shift your energy, it's important to get into gratitude as much as possible and get into love, the highest vibrations you will feel. And you can do this through the Global Good News Challenge. Now, you can start this challenge any month, right? For the March challenge, you can actually start between now and midnight tonight, March 3, depending where you are in the world. So you start it by midnight on March 3. You can do a 3-day challenge. It's only a 3-day Facebook Live challenge on Facebook on your profile or in the Loving Life group. And all it is you just share your name, what you do, 3 things you're grateful for, and a piece of good news. And then hashtag Global Good News Challenge. So all the details pinned to the top of the page in the link there, Global Good News Challenge on Facebook. And you will feel amazing afterwards. It's amazing just sharing gratitude, just a few things you're grateful for, just shifts the vibration. And you either focus on the negatives, focus on the few things you're not happy about in your life, or you can focus on all the magic that is around us, within us, in nature. There's so much we can be grateful for. And that's what I want for you, is to focus on things you can be grateful for so that you have more to be grateful for. Because if you're not grateful for what you have, then you will be given more reasons not to be grateful, right? You get more of what you focus on. And what you think about and think about, you bring about as well. So I hope you've enjoyed the tips to build a successful podcast today and a few of my media tips. I would love to hear from you and connect with you. We have some future mass media tribe events as well coming up. So on April 8, we have Linda Morrison from Melbourne. She's brilliant with creating online courses, and she's going to talk about catapult your business online, 6 to 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, April 8. And then our next one will be May 6 after that, Mass Media Tribe Meetup. And that will be Donna Marie Willett Flockhart from Beachmere, from Moreton Bay area north of Brisbane. She's going to talk about Access Super Consciousness for Media Success. Access Super Consciousness. That'll be a great one as well, 6 to 8 p.m. on May 6th, the Thursday night. And this Saturday night, I have a chapter in a book called Undefeated, which is celebrating women primarily. There's 20 authors from all over the world, from India, Singapore, and Australia. And I'm very blessed to have a chapter in that book called Anything is Possible. And that will be officially launched this Saturday night at 8 p.m. And it'll be online if you want to join us, the Undefeated book launch. So great to be involved in that. And then Friday night, if you're on the Gold Coast, there's a fantastic exhibition coming out called Masked. It's going to be open this Friday from 5:30 till 7:30 p.m. And it is hosted at One Arts Gallery in Isle of Capri and supported by Gold Coast Magic, Multicultural Arts Group in collaboration, as well as MFO, which is Multicultural Families organisation. It's funded by the Gold Coast City Council, by Arts Queensland, and it's an art exhibition celebrating COVID medical heroes. And we're actually in the ABC studio this morning with the organisers, and tomorrow morning we will be at Juice FM on the Gold Coast on Good Taste Brekkie with Chloe and Ellerina. That will be at 7 a.m. live in the studio. And at 6:40 a.m. you can see the audio. You can hear, you hear the audio from today's pre-record in the ABC studio. So that'll be 6:40 a.m. tomorrow on 91.7 FM on ABC Gold Coast Breakfast. Tomorrow morning, great interview with Tom Forbes today. Thank you, Tom. I've known for about 20 years on the Gold Coast. Unbelievable, such a small world, and how the years just fly by. They just absolutely fly by. So thank you so much to all our media supporters. Blank Gold Coast Magazine as well is putting a story out. 4CRB has been supporting the Masked exhibition, and the Gold Coast Bulletin, I believe, will be doing something in the next few days as well. And any other media that's supporting I may not be aware of. Thank you so much for your support of that. All right, well, I'm going to sign out now. It's been a big day. It's almost midnight, probably time I get some sleep soon. So thank you for joining me, and please join me on Media Queen TV on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, I think you'll really enjoy the inspiration on there. Come and join the Global Good News Challenge. At least like the page and stay updated. Or if you're really game, if you're up for the challenge, then come and do one of the Global Good News Challenges. You can still get one in for March. It's only 3 days, very, very simple. And usually you can do it in about 3 minutes, right? So everyone's got 3 minutes. It's just a matter of getting over yourself and just doing it. Just go live, share from the heart. You don't have to be polished. You don't have to have makeup on. You don't have to have a fancy background. Just get started, start sharing, and you'll get more confident the more you practice. And same with your podcasts and everything you put out online. Practice makes perfect, they say, but then there's no such thing as perfection, right? But practice will definitely help you to become more confident on camera. Carrie Ann, darling, thanks. A whole new world. Yes, it is definitely a whole new world. That's for damn sure. Absolutely, it is a whole new world, the world of podcasts and online media and social media even. You know, to think that Facebook only started in 2004. Unbelievable how far social media has come, and how many new things are starting all the time, right? There's just crazy the number of new things out there now, different social media and media channels and websites and online tools, and it's just crazy. This tech world is insane, and you can definitely get overwhelmed if you think about all of it. So I suggest just start somewhere, start small, and build up from there. All right, thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful day or night wherever you are. And remember, as Gandhi says, be the change you want to see in the world. So if you're sick of all the mass media negativity out there, then here's your chance to share some good news. Start your own podcast, start your own online show, join the Global Good News Challenge. Lots of ways you can share your good news, and the world is waiting to hear from you, so including myself. So please make sure you tag me when you share your good news, and I would love to celebrate that with you. All right, we will catch up again soon. Thank you so much once again, and remember, keep spreading that love with those around you. Bye for now.